chicken pot pie soup. Hey y'all, thanks for stopping by my crazy creative life. In today's video, I am making a soup. This is a chicken pot pie soup, and it is so good. This is not a tomato-based soup, so you know, if any of you all have a problem with like too much acid or, you know, acidic foods bothering you, this should not bother you. But it's really good. But I will link in the description box below the recipe that I can't say I followed, I can say I was inspired by, because I did this quite a bit different than what she did. So I don't even know if you can call it her recipe or not, but you judge for yourself. For one thing, I add potatoes in this. Her recipe did not call for potatoes, but to me, chicken pot pie has potatoes in it, so it needs potatoes. Plus, it makes a more filling soup. Because I had to add the potatoes in it, it caused me to kind of have to go these different routes to fix it. So I hope I don't confuse you too bad whenever I explain to you how I done this. You can follow the way I done it, or you can, you know, go to her link. The lady that I can't think her name at the moment, but you can go to her link, follow her directions, or you can follow what I done. But it is really good soup. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and let's go ahead and I'll shut up talking now and let's go ahead and jump on in. First thing you're going to do is get about 2 pounds of chicken breast and dice it up, cut it about the size that you think is good for soup. Next, you want to put your chicken in a pan and put about roughly a tablespoon of your favorite oil in there. I think I used grapeseed oil, but you want a higher heat oil, so something like that, or vegetable oil, some kind of a higher heat oil. Anyway, so you're going to just on medium high heat, somewhere around there, you want to brown up your chicken breast. In the meantime, now this is where it changes. I cut up some potatoes. Now, these are a yellow potato. I love a yellow potato. It is more of a buttery type potato, and they make excellent mashed potatoes, but they're a really good soup potato too. But you can use a russet or whatever potato you have on hand. But I just peel my potatoes, and yes, I peel mine with a knife. That's the way I have always done it. But peel your potato, then once you get and dice them up, then you want to rinse them off really good. I think I cut up roughly about 4 cups worth of potatoes. Next, you want to dice up an onion and celery, about 3-4 stalks of celery. Unfortunately, the celery I got that day wasn't good, so that's another story. But anyway, you do want to cut up an onion and celery for your next step. Don't forget to go back and check on your chicken and stir it up and make sure that it's browning up good. But once it is browned up, it's, you know, the chicken is done, then you're going to transfer all of that juice and all into a bowl and set that to the side. To your hot pan, you want to add about another tablespoon of oil, or about a tablespoon of butter, because you're getting ready to saute. Once your oil heats up, you're going to saute those onions and the celery. Once your onions are kind of translucent, then you're going to add a couple cloves of garlic that's chopped up, or you could get the garlic that's pre-chopped up that you stick in the refrigerator. Put about a tablespoon of that in there after your onions kind of have become translucent. Once you've added the garlic and you've let that saute with your onions and your celery for about 2 or 3 minutes or so, you want to remove those from your pan and set those to the side. Now, because I'm doing this with potatoes, it did cause me to have to go back and forth. If I left out the potatoes, everything would be in one pot, and everything would be, you know, just kind of, I guess, a little easier to do. But because I'm adding potatoes, I'm having to do it just a little different. But what I decided to do next was I rinsed out my pot, and I added my potatoes to that and filled it up with water, and I went ahead and let those boil on the stove to get soft. Now, I went ahead, well, for one reason, because I was taking this to church that particular night, but I went ahead and got out my Instant Pot, and I turned it on saute. If you don't want to use your Instant Pot, just once your potatoes are done, drain them and set them to the side. And then in your pot, add a half a stick of butter, or 4 tablespoons of butter, melt that, and then add 1/4 cup of all, well, it really doesn't matter, all-purpose or self-rising, doesn't matter, flour, but 1/4 cup to that butter and stir it around. And you want it to, you don't want it to brown up like a roux, like for a gravy, but you do want it to cook a couple of minutes to at least cook down that raw flour. Next, you're going to add 1 cup of chicken broth. As you're pouring that in, you want to whisk it in really, really good. Get all of that incorporated together good. It will thicken up, and that's okay because you're getting ready to add some cream. But just stir it really good. That way it doesn't clump up. Next, you're going to add 4 cups of heavy whipping cream to this, which is a whole large container. That obviously is the Walmart brand, but it's the large container. And you're going to slowly pour your cream in as you're whisking. Again, you got to whisk this very vigorously at first anyway. If not, then it will clump up. Now to your cream mixture, you want to add everything that was set to the side. So that's the sauteed onions and celery, that is the potatoes, and that's also the chicken. So go ahead and add everything into your cream mixture at this point. Just kidding. Well, actually, right before you add all the vegetables and the chicken to this, you want to get some kind of a chicken base like the one I just showed you. And you're going to add about 3 teaspoons of the chicken base to your cream mixture. It's easier if you go ahead and add it in now and whisk it in that cream before you add your potatoes and all of that. But you can still add it in later if you happen to forget it. Now you want to add your chicken and your potatoes back in with the cream mixture. Here I'm adding the garlic that's in the jar that you keep in the fridge, and I added a tablespoon to it. So you can add the garlic either here or right after you saute your onions and they become translucent. Either way will work. If it's the minced kind in the jar, if it's fresh, then no, you need to put them in right after the onions become a little translucent. This is totally optional. A couple years ago, I had canned some celery. So I just went out in my garage and got a can of celery and put that in there since I didn't have any fresh to saute up. This is the small 12-ounce bag of the frozen peas and carrots, and I added 2 bags of those to this soup. Add you a little salt and pepper to taste. I felt like it needed a little bit more of that chicken base, so I added 1 more teaspoon in. And because I added the potatoes and a little bit extra vegetables, it was just a little bit thick, so I added 1 more cup of the chicken broth to my soup. Always do a little taste test. One thing that makes this soup good, and it makes you think, oh, there's some kind of flavor there, I can't pinpoint it, it's nutmeg. So you want to get some whole nutmeg. I get mine at my local health food store. I think you can get it at Walmart. I'll try to see if I can find some on Amazon. But you want to take a microplane and just grate some over top, roughly about 1/2 to a teaspoon of nutmeg. Just grate some in there, taste it, and see if you think it needs a little bit more. Now, I thought I recorded it, but apparently I did not. Something that goes real good with this, you take some puff pastry, you get that in the frozen section, and you let it unthaw a little bit, and you roll it out, you slice it with, I've done with mine with a cookie cut, a pizza roller, but a knife, pizza roller, whatever. You cut it in strips and then put it on your baking pan and bake it according to the directions. I can't even remember at the moment what it said. I think it was like 400 for maybe 15 minutes or something. But anyway, just read the package directions. But you've got those little long sticks, and it gives you kind of like that crust. Oh, that's where I decided to add my second bag of vegetables. But anyway, it kind of gives it that crust that you have in a real chicken pot pie. It kind of mimics that crust part. So anyway, and it's real good. But my husband said he'd prefer cornbread with it. But anyway, that's it. And it turned out really, really good. I'll probably try to make some more tomorrow. All right, so that looked good, didn't it? It is good. Or I think it's good anyway. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope that you give this a try if you haven't tried it yet. I think that you'll like it, especially if you like chicken pot pie or a cream-based soup, or even just chicken noodle soup. I mean, any along that line, you should like this soup if you like any of those things. But, you know, who knows. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. And that's it. So I hope you have a blessed rest of your day, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye! Hey, if you like this video, you may want to check out my previous video or my previous series. Talk to you soon.